G'day, welcome everyone, one and all, to another installment of Guvs Hero and Impression Review videos. This time we are going to continue in the seasonal event series, and we're going to take a look at Quilla, who is the blue 5-star snow lady from the Christmas seasonal portal. So being a seasonal event hero, Quilla is of very limited summons opportunities. There is only one opportunity in a calendar year, which is during the month of December. Fortunately though, it does run for the entire month of December each year. Interestingly as well, with the seasonal portals, you do have the opportunity to use your epic hero ticket, so stockpile those up, target the seasonal portal of your preference, and best of luck with it, because the odds are pretty terrible for those portals. Quilla is a 5-star blue hero and has the title of being the Owl Clan Tracker. Quilla has been in the game for quite a while now. She was an original release hero in the very first installment of the Christmas seasonal portal, way back 3, 4, 5 years ago. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, she is a fairly old hero. I can't really call it an event because after 5 odd years, we still don't actually have a Christmas seasonal event. We just have a portal and an offers calendar. So yeah, a little bit disappointing from SGG there, but anyway. Having a look at her artwork, so we can see this artwork was provided to me by Scarpia, I believe, or another ally mate, so thanks to them. So she is a little bit of an interesting character, I'm going to be honest. It doesn't really fit with the rest of the Christmas seasonal family. There's not really any link between, you know, the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Krampus to Quilla. It's kind of just like thrown in there as the Owl Clan Tracker. But anyway, it does kind of sort of ish resemble a tracker. I don't know how many trackers do that. Anime-ish girl pose, but hey, whatever. Got like a long range rifle, which is good for scouts. And yeah, sort of got the white cloak to blend in with the snowy landscape. So yeah, anyway, so that's Quilla's artwork. Pause it, review it if you wish to, but we're going to head back over to her card. So taking a look at that card, she is a member of the Jingle Bells family. This is, for me, probably the worst of the family bonuses in the game. Just because, we'll read through it, it does allow her, whenever she fires her special skill, to summon a elf minion for herself with 8% HP and 8% attack inherited from her stats. If there are additional unique members of the Jingle Bells family in the same battle, they will get an additional 2% HP and 2% attack for each of those unique heroes. So for me, as I said, this is probably the worst of the family bonuses in the game. The only one that's worse than it is the Hero of the Month and Vanilla heroes that don't even have a family bonus. I just feel like it's one minion for one hero, and it's not even a very good minion. I feel if this was a better minion, or it summoned a minion for herself and nearby, or even if it just summoned a minion for all of the Jingle Bells family members in the battle, that would just improve it. But as it is, it's just there, like it doesn't do anything for me, and I just don't feel that an improvement would damage the game in any way. So moving on, her stats, she does have 695 attack, 637 defense, and 1479 HP. So there is a slight skewing towards the attack stat. Being a very old hero though, her stat line is quite a bit lower than newer heroes. You can see that in the total team power, which is multiplication. It's like a formula around her base stats and stuff. So yeah, she's sort of been left behind a little bit, and her attack stat isn't high enough that the skewing makes a difference compared to new heroes, if that makes sense. So yeah, a bit of a victim of power creep in some ways. Her charge speed is set to 36, which is slow speed. It requires 12 tiles to charge, or 6 ghosted tiles. To get a speed break, you do need to go +7, which is possible using either the Ice Breath Saw or the Regalizer Magnum, both of which give a +9 speed improvement. With the 4% speed node at +20, you can break it with just a +4 speed weapon. However, that does require 1500 emblems, so kind of not worth it. Class-wise, Quilla is a member of the support class, which grants the hero the chance to withstand negative status effects and charge cuts. So it is a pretty decent perk, particularly that chance to withstand charge cutting effects, such as those from like Dragon Fist or Attk and that kind of thing. I do rate it. It does seem to go off way more often than it should go off, and usually when it does apply, it's when you least want it to. Like, it's the best possible situation. So In terms of an emblem path, I would advise not putting any emblems on Quilla. The reasons are going to become apparent later in this video, but if you do have to put emblems on her, I would go an attacking route just to try to boost that overall damage output. So the second priority would probably be defense. HP is not going to have much of an improvement on it because it's not going to grant her minion too much extra survival. So I would go an attack and defense route. In terms of seeing that on a card, I don't have my drawing tool on. Anyway, in terms of a card, I'm going to use Perla because I don't have Quilla and I don't have the drawing app on. So I would go right at the first node to pick up the attack, left at the second node for the attack and defense, then we'd come back right, go the defense there, and then we'd go attack defense and then attack defense at the end. This is if you absolutely have to put emblems on Quilla. I personally wouldn't though. So yeah, so that's in terms of a class talent tree. Moving back over to her card and having a look at her special skill, it is titled Snow Glare Snipe, and at level 10 skill and 36 charge speed will clear all status ailments from all allies and will deal 345% damage to the target. That damage is improved by 23% per status ailment cleared, and interestingly, there's not actually a cap on that percent improvement. So if we break that down a little bit, realistically, there's only two elements to the skill. There's the damage and there's the cleanse. So we'll have a look at the damage first. I'm going to compare on the basis of attack power per tile. So attack power is just the hero's attack stat, 695 in this instant, multiplied by the percentage in their special skill, 345%. Multiplying those together gives the attack power, which we can then divide by the number of tiles taken to charge their special skill as a way of normalizing against the various speeds of all the different heroes in the game. So in the case of Quilla, she does have 695 attack and has 345% listed as her base attack percentage. So that comes out at 2398 attack power, or 200 attack power per tile when you divide it by the 12 tiles to charge. Now that is very, very bad. Like, it's way down the list of blue sniping heroes. The only ones that are worse than it is Visor, his base damage, but he does go up a long way when you're attacking a hero with less than 50% HP. Chul, who is one of the worst heroes of the month ever released, and Variant Face Off, who is more there for the taunt and counter attack than his damage output. So the benefit though of Quilla is that it does improve when you're cleansing more status ailments. So if we have 5 status ailments, 1 on each of your allied heroes, 1 on each of the heroes of your team, that does boost it up to 266, so 460% damage. If you got 10, so 2 on each hero, that goes up to 575% damage to the target, or 333 attack power per tile. And if for some reason you do have 15 status ailments that get cleansed, 3 on each hero, it goes up to a whopping 690% damage, or 400 attack power per tile. So theoretically it could go higher if you've got 4 or on each hero, so that's 20 or even higher if you wish, but it's unlikely that you're going to get that many. So having a look at some of those other heroes in there, who are some notable ones? You've got Thunderclap there coming in at number 2 with 351 attack power. Lillian Variant is the best option without bonuses at 457. 0.512. Who else have we got in there? We got Pantera, 226, Maverick, 219, or 438 if you do get that bonus attack as well. So there are a lot of blue snipers, but Quilla comes in at number 15 on just her base damage output. So realistically, looking at that, Quilla can be either really good, average, or really terrible, all depending on how many status ailments are present at the time of casting her skills. And this is one of the things that I do dislike about Quilla. Her damage output is so conditional on receiving status ailments, which in and of itself puts you in a liability situation. Like it means that you are waiting for the enemy heroes to fire their special skills, which means you're taking damage before her damage output becomes beneficial. If you're facing an enemy who's got lots of the master weapon equipped, so where you've got that bleed, poison, burn ailment, it becomes quite a bit easier to rack up multiple status ailments off just 1 or 2 enemy casts. But if these aren't present, then you're relying entirely on multiple enemy special skill casts, which means you are taking multiple sets of damage, and she's unlikely to even survive because she has fairly poor base stats, being an old hero. So, I mean, The alternative is that you just cast her skill without waiting for their ailments, but then you're way down on the damage output, amongst the worst of the blue sniping options, and there's no secondary ability to really make up for it. Like the ones that are worse than her or down there below her, you got Variant Face-Off, who's got Taunt and Counter Attack. Visor has the ability to scale up when hitting someone less than 50%. So yeah, so I just don't like her attack is basically where I'm at. The other aspect of her special skill is the cleanse, which is linked to the attack damage. Cleanses are always nice. They can be very useful at removing a wide range of ailments, from damage over time to charge control to reduced stats. So pairing it with the damage does enhance that cleanse somewhat. But overall, I just see Quilla as being an extremely situational hero. There are setups where there are lots of ailments being generated. In that situation, she is a good inclusion. But her slow speed and that reliance on ailments does mean that you're effectively required to take a lot of damage and special skill hits from the enemy in order to make good use of her, which is not exactly desirable. The one thing that I feel that would make a major improvement to Quilla is if it was a cleanse and dispel. So not only removing the ailments from her team, but also dispelling buffs from the opposing team. This would make her so much more effective. It would double her opportunities for use. It would raise the opportunities for her to get actual good damage, and she would actually become a buff booster tournament specialist. But this just isn't the case. Instead, we've just got this hero that's extremely situational, has comparatively low base stats being so old, and has a very slow charge speed for her damage output as well. So for Quilla's grading, I am relatively harsh on her, so I apologize if you did get Quilla. So on War and Raid attacks, I am giving her a C. Even that's quite generous. For War Machines, down to a D. Events, a D. Raid defense and War defense, a D. She just has no real use on a defense team. The damage is low, the speed is slow, the stats don't lend her any favors either. So in terms of the tournament, so Bloody Battle, I'm going to give her a C plus and a D. Slight improvement there because Bloody Battle people do tend to put more ailments on their defense team, just because people are less likely to bring cleansers along, because they're usually linked to healing heroes. So for buff boosting, C minus, a D minus, just because she has no usefulness whatsoever. Charged attack, I'm going to give her a B for attack and a C minus for defense. So she does come up a bit on charged attack because she does go from 36 to 65 speed, but still not fantastic. So overall, that comes in at a C minus for her overall attack grade and a D for her overall defense grade. So not a great overall hero. The argument can be made for her effectiveness in situational teams, but generally speaking, not great. So that concludes the content I have for this review of Quilla. As always, this is just my personal opinion. I do love hearing your thoughts and feedback on these heroes, so please jump down into the comments section of this video, drop me a note there. I do love reading them, and I will always try to reply as much as I possibly can. If you did enjoy the video and found it to be useful, like it, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. That's probably the most important thing. Because realistically, if you found the video to be useful yourself, it's also probably going to be useful to other players that you play with also. So thanks once again for tuning in and joining me for this review. Good luck with everything in the game and happy gaming. Enjoy it. But until next time, cheers. Bye.